Today we're looking at SubwayBLT, a bronze for Moira. They requested this review directly on my Google form, where they wrote, "End of the match, my tank blames me for the lack of heals and says I am bad, when our DPS had 12 elims, 17 deaths. He says our Kiriko, 20k heals, is good. I only had 10k healing. I was making up for the lack of damage. He also overextended many times and cries about heals, lol. Please tell me what I could have done to maybe win that match. I believe this match was 100% winnable. And also, what can I improve on so I can climb?" Yeah, I mean, that will happen pretty commonly where tanks will play too far, they won't look back, and they'll complain about heals. People who watch my stream saw it happen to me in Master Games, so I wouldn't worry about that specifically, but it does seem like you are a little focused on stats. Like, you shared the scoreboard. I'm not even going to look at it because stats don't matter. Doesn't matter how much healing and damage you and your team was doing. What matters is if you were doing it to the right targets at the right time. So that's what we're going to take a look at. First thing we always want to do is take a look at our team comp. So we got Maga, Hanzo Sombra, Kiriko Moira. Yeah, so you're running a Maga comp. You guys gotta play together and follow up on what he does. So yeah, I definitely like to see you, help him out. Pay attention to what your Kiriko's doing too. Like, if you think your Mog is pushing too far, using cold just to pocket him while he's going deep could be a valid strategy. Another thing too, like if you see your Sombra like flanking to, go after the back line, going with her to follow up on that could be good. But, might be a little tough to do that when you have a Maga. So we'll see how it goes. Keep rotating. So you kind of just threw that damage orb out there. I think you were like, you heard the ball and you were kind of like anticipating where he was going to be. I'd like you to take a little bit of time and just scout a little bit more and know where people are before you throw that damage orb. Like, you can peek here. You see like the soldier Iari over there. Even like you see the Widow controlling that high ground. If you like bounce it, bounce the orb through this doorway or that archway to disrupt her, that could be good. But yeah, definitely don't just throw your orb so early. At least know like you're gonna get value out of them. Scout a little bit and see where people are. Like that right there. Similar, like with the healing orb this time, your team hasn't really taken a lot of damage except for Sombra, who's way out there. So just another thing, just pay attention to your team. I want you to just use your primary fire to heal, and only use the heal orb when primary fire isn't enough. Another thing too, I do see that your healing meter is already halfway drained, just topping people off. You don't need to hold down the button quite as much as you probably think. Moira does 70 heals per second. And then after you stop healing somebody, it heals an additional 51 HP over 3 seconds. So what that means is, especially for people that just need to be topped off, all you have to do is just tap them and, they'll get that overtime healing. Another thing you could think about too, if you find your healing meter getting drained really fast, if you want to quickly recharge it, you could do damage, but tap the button instead of hold it down. That'll boost your healing meter a little bit faster. Same thing we talked about before with that damage orb. Slow down a little bit. All right. We do good. You just want to be a little bit careful. You're pushing forward. See, you took a lot of damage here. I would ideally, a couple things you could do is, if you want to do damage, you could either like play a little bit closer to the wall here, just so you have cover you could quickly duck behind. If you want to like be a little more aggressive, I mean, this is like if you would have the time to go do it, but you could make this rotation over here, be a distraction. I don't necessarily think we need to do that in this fight where we have the damage. The play is either like playing the corner or waiting for Maga to push and following up behind him. Here, you've taken some damage. I definitely think about fading away. Yeah, you don't in time. So yeah, pushing too forward there caused you to die. No opposition is
Excellent. Keep the payload rolling. I offer something more.
Yeah, same thing as before. You don't need to hold down that heal button anywhere near as much as you think you do.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, once again with the heal orb, you know, you can, I mean the damage orb, sorry, you can scout a little bit, you know, see where the Widow is, see where like somewhere deep where you can get it so where you're sure it's going to hit somebody. Yeah, very, very common theme with your orb usage.
I'm coming in hot. Misery made manifest.
Okay, so you are on cart duty here. That is fine, but I still want you to pay attention to what's going on here, and especially like if your Maga takes a lot of damage. He might need you to come over here and help them. So, yeah. Winning the fight takes priority over pushing the cart. Like, even if you watch games at the highest level, oftentimes the entire team will just leave the cart, go over here, kill the entire enemy team. Then once the fight's won, they'll be like, okay, someone's got to run back, push cart. That's how much important it is to win the fight over pushing. Like right there, I mean, your Maga did die a little bit fast, but if we saw him taking damage, we could have gone over to help him. Even like fading like right to this corner, you know, knowing you'll be safe in this cover just to, you know, just to get those heals on him so he doesn't die. But yeah, now we want to play a little bit carefully until our tank comes back. Yeah, definitely try to hold down the healing button less and pay attention to who you're focusing. Because see how like your healing meter is drained? It's because you're holding down a little too much. And I wouldn't push up here when you don't have your cooldowns. Yeah, so let's actually back that up a little bit. So you were over here, you know, I think you're pushed a little bit too forward to begin with when you don't have your tank, but yeah, we already talked about that. You know, it's a smart thing to fade back here with your Hanzo. But now you want to play a little bit carefully because you have no cooldowns. You got to be a lot more careful, especially when you don't have fade. Like you should be thinking about just, you know, playing tight to this wall, playing very safe so you can duck anything that comes your way. Then, you know, when you get fade back or, you know, it's like 1 or 2 seconds till the cooldown comes back, then you can push up a little bit more. You don't do that. You keep pushing forward out in the open with no cooldowns, and you know Iari just you get double ulted and you got nowhere to go. Yeah, you have to play a lot differently when you have fade versus when you don't. Same thing with like Kiriko Swift Step, Reaper Wraith, any of those escape abilities. Definitely, like I was saying with Cole, we could think about just using it to pocket and help Maga as he goes deep. Even like you see him push over there. I mean, you want to be a little bit careful of like the Sigma. You don't want to get rocked or fluxed, but definitely rotating to see if you can help Maga here would be a very good play.
Pain is inevitable. What is it now?
Okay, you want to be a little bit careful about, you know, pushing forward with Cole. It might be better to wait until your Maga pushes. It's fine, though. Just be a little bit careful. Another thing, too, I want to see you throw an orb before you pop the Cole, because it will amplify what you're doing. You know, you can damage orb Cole, you know, just to amplify your damage, make it easier to finish off people. If you're trying to use Cole to save people, heal orb Cole, will help keep them alive easier. And by the time your Cole finishes, you will have that orb back to use it again. Even if you're like 1 to 2 seconds to your orb, I would just hold on to Cole just so you can orb Cole always. But this isn't a bad play. You kill the yeah, you kill the Iari and you force trans out. That is huge for your team. Nice job going into the back line. But yeah, your team is full HP. You don't need to be like, you can just tap the button once again. You don't need to be holding it down. I'd like to see you go for a little bit more damage when it's safe to do so otherwise. Like you go after the Zen right there. Even just breaking the barrier. But it's okay. You guys are winning this fight regardless. Yeah, nice angle. I like that, you know, they're playing over here, focusing the main area. You play like right here where, you know, you have some cover. It's just a nice tight little angle that you're exposing yourself to. Yeah, very, very good job there. And you're just keeping them in check while also staying safe yourself.
Pain is inevitable. You will be renewed.
My ultimate's ready to go.
We already talked about the damage orb. Know where people are. Because I feel like, you know, you could be building your, like, if you just slow down with these orbs especially, you could be building coal so much faster. Like, I guarantee you'd be on your second or maybe even, like, you'd be 2.5 coals by now. The orb usage has a huge impact in building your ult as Moira. I'd be a little bit careful about dueling the soldier. Yeah, you definitely want to play a little bit careful here. You could think about, honestly, I mean, it's a little bit tough because of Sigma, but even like when you get your fade back or so, you might think about fade past him. Nice try. Actually, I don't think that was a very good idea at that point. We need to, like, if we were gonna help Maga, we needed to be able to go with him, but yeah, it's just, I think that was just you and your Maga kind of not being on the same page, you know? You were over here looking at Soldier. He was, you know, he was pushing up. You know, I mean, I would just pay a little bit more attention to what your Maga is doing in general. Maga comps really rely on them brawling and helping out the tank. You kind of got to babysit him a lot more than most other tanks in general.
Now, to start anew.
Good to go. Getting rusty, old man? You look so slow.
For the punch.
Ready to activate the EMP charge.
I don't mind this though, you know, taking this little angle right here.
Into the iris.
Yeah, your Maga's pushed a little bit too far. Nothing you can really do about that. Especially like once Zen popped trans, I feel like he needed to, you know, cancel his charge and rotate around here, but is what it is. You got to play a little bit careful now though. Okay, we're investing EMP. You can just, you know, you can pop coal once you get it. I wouldn't focus the Sigma though. I would definitely be turning and looking to get like one of the squishies, like see how Soldier and Sojourn are both low. Yeah, I mean, definitely you want to just try to go after squishies that are easier to kill with that ult. Let like your Hanzo, who can do much higher burst damage, focus on killing the Sigma. It's like, see, you spend a lot of time on him, you don't get the kill. You finally turn over here, and you're still able to get value and kill the Sojourn. Like, imagine if we were focusing this area a little bit sooner. I bet we could have got a little more done. Now you got to be careful. So that's let's actually back that up. So it's like what I talked about before. You have no cooldowns. Once you finish with that coal, you want to think about ducking back. You continue to push forward with no cooldowns. You don't realize that that you are vulnerable, and you know, soldier visors, and you're just dead. Yeah, just pay attention to whether or not you have fade, and You definitely need to be backing up and playing very carefully if you don't.
Time again to try again.
You can go after the Sojourn. Good thing your Maga comes to help. Now play careful. Fade. See, that's the difference right there. You could play a little bit more out in the open because you had Fade to escape that ult. Yeah, just be careful. Turn around. See where your team is. You know, pay attention especially to when your Maga pushes up because that's when you want to be aggressive.
60 seconds remaining.
Make sure you're healing him too. And he does have his cardiac overdrive up, but still. So you see the Ashe up on high ground, you can turn and just do a little bit of damage to pressure her off. Yeah, definitely, like, you see the Ashe there, especially she's not shooting at you. Definitely do some damage to get her off that high ground. Good fade, though. Just be careful. Yeah, you're very, very exposed out here. Fortunately, you know, where's your Kiriko's right here, but we still want to just play a little bit careful, pay attention to our HP, stabilize a little bit more. Yeah, your Kiriko does heal you. Sometimes if you're going through a small archway like this, it's better to not jump at the end of your fade. You just kind of gotta... I know it's instinct to jump at the end just so you get more movement, but you definitely don't want to be going into a wall, so... But I do like this, rotation. Yeah, you just, once again, you want to be a little bit careful because you don't have your fade. In general, if you're going to get to these positions, I would try not to use fade to do it, just so you can save it as a means to escape if necessary. Yeah, heal your Maga. Yeah, once again, I would go over I would go towards the Moira over the Sigma there for the Cole, but nice job. Your Maga needs healing right now, so I'd definitely be focusing on that. You don't want him to die. Yeah, see how he's running away? Yeah, we're still not helping him. Yeah, he had to back out of the fight. See where he is right now? He's all the way over here at low HP. I mean, your Kiriko's not turning to help him either. But while we're over here trying to stall point ourselves, especially as a support, if you have teammates that are alive, I want you to try to like play off to the side off point and just focus on supporting the teammates that are stalling. Let your Maga stall and focus on supporting him. Because I just feel like it'd be much easier for you guys, you know, if you were paying a little bit more attention to what your Maga's doing, and he was the one pushing on here, doing damage, and you were following up on it instead.
Your strength becomes mine.
So he dies, and yeah, I mean, you said that he was complaining about a lack of heals. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. If he was complaining after this, I kind of see where he's coming from. Yeah. So definitely, I think the big mistake there was, you know, playing on point a little bit too much and not supporting our team and our tank specifically, you know, when they needed it. When you're stalling cart, like I said, stay off cart as support and just focus on supporting your teammates and let them stall. Only touch if you absolutely have to.
0 to 2.
I won't repeat myself, but
Ready for battle. 1. Attackers incoming.
okay, so this is a little bit tough. You're stopping, it looks like, to type, and your tank hasn't picked yet. I don't know if you guys are going back and forth, but I would strongly advise not doing this. Like, if you're going to talk to your team, do it in voice. You need to be at the choke with your team, ready to fight when the round starts.
Stop the payload
If it
from
must be
moving.
done, let it be done quickly.
The same thing with the damage orb. Slow them down. Know where people are. So yeah, your Hanzo dies there. Not your fault completely. It's your tank's fault too, but yeah, you both need to just not be toxic towards each other and just objectively figure out what you need to do to win the game. Because this is still very much winnable. Your Mei's a little far. That's unfortunate.
Eyes open now.
Echo here.
Pain is inevitable.
Nice job trying to stay safe. Your tank's going a little deep. We could try to think about, especially like, you know, we don't have to play so far back, especially as our Echo, we see our Echo over here. We could think about playing with her, trying to rotate to maybe help Maga out. Maybe we could do damage on the Zen or something. But yeah, you could definitely use that cover, especially if you have teammates with you to play with. We want to help him. Not use Fade to get there, preferably, because now you're front lining in a very exposed position. But fortunately, you don't get punished for it. Kill your tank. Oh wow. Let me back that up. So he was at full HP. He got deleted. Yeah, I mean, it might have been better to be helping him a little bit, but at the same time, like, he died so fast. That's just, you know, he needs to play a little bit careful, especially when he knows there's a Zen there who can slap Discord and make him die fast. Now you got to just play careful. Kill your Kiriko. You could, I would have thought about fading, like either one of these doorways, either over here or over here. Just, you don't want to be out in the open like that when you're low HP. You definitely want to use your fade when you have it to escape.
The payload has reached a starting point.
Yeah, you're typing once again. Like, you got to stop doing that. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. If I see you stop to type again, I'm going to stop the review. Because that's time that you're not thinking about what to do. That's time you're not getting ready for the next fight. Meanwhile, your Mog is out there. Should he be out there by himself? Probably not, but we should still be thinking about rotating to support him safely.
A taste of poison. Your assistance is appreciated.
Yeah, this is very risky. I would just, you know, just be a little bit careful about using Fade to push into people. Once again, you want to save it as a means to escape. But it's okay. Soldier doesn't hit the shots and you're able to kill her. You can play careful here. Go for damage if it's safe to do so. I don't think we needed Fade there. You just want to know where people are. Like, especially because we're backing away where we weren't really paying attention to whether or not we need to. And, you know, we were just a little bit inactive from the fight and we weren't able to help our Maga. Funny enough, this is exactly the mistake that I'm talking about that I'm making right now. So, yeah, no judgment there. I'm doing the same thing, but you and I both need to be more aware of that in our games. When we're safe versus when we're not, when we need to back up, how much we need to back up. And yeah, we just need to not panic as much. I know you heard the Bob. That was your instinct, but at least see where it is. Yeah, play over here. Yeah, you're very exposed. But good job using the cover. Okay. Yeah, pay a little bit more. Yeah. Just our target focus was a little bit off there. We're doing damage on people, not realizing that our team's taking damage. You know, then we're turning over to help them, and meanwhile our Mog is pushing a little bit forward. I mean, you know, if you know your Kiriko's back here to help heal people, you could definitely be thinking about just paying a little bit more attention to what your Mog is doing. I think that would have been better. Yeah, at this point, you guys got to keep backing up and just be careful. Yeah, I'd be a little careful about this. Might even honestly be better to... I mean, you can do some damage to distract people. Like, that was a good kill. But okay, yeah, that was what I was going to say. Do some damage as much as you can get away with and think about fading back to your team. Yeah, that was a good pick by you. All right. So I think we should have, I don't think we needed to fade there because, you know, let's actually back that up so I can show you. So we could have been healing our Hanzo there, but because we fade, we're not using Cole for a brief second and Hanzo dies. I mean, granted, he does take a railgun shot, so I don't know if we would have been able to save him. But yeah, you don't need to push up at least this fast. And it's very risky to do that into a Sigma too. If you can kill the Zen though, that's good. Okay. I mean, we do end up getting the kills, which is good, but we also want to try to keep up our team to help support us. At the very least, like, you know, heal Hanzo just enough that he doesn't die, then turn and do exactly what you did. Wouldn't chase too much. Okay.
You cannot escape me.
Yeah, so just like I was saying before with the orbs, you thought Ashe might be going to low ground. You gotta think, especially hit scan, are gonna try to take this high ground instead. So just waiting for her to peek and then throwing the orb as soon as you see her, I think would have been a lot better if you were gonna do that play.
You will be renewed. Your end is within my reach.
Yeah, I mean, you were complaining about your DPS. I don't know if it was the other one, but I would say your Hanzo specifically is doing pretty solid. It probably was the sim, but all good. I definitely wouldn't say there's like a complete lack of damage like you said in your post.
Big Steiner lap. Expect the unexpected. A taste of poison. Preparing your cellular makeup.
You can fade if necessary. And be a little careful, you're exposed with no cooldowns and you're 65 HP. You definitely want to think about just playing a little bit tighter. Just trying to keep yourself safe. Should be your #1 priority.
Your end is within my reach.
Let me, yeah, so your tank does overextend here. Like, that's not on you. Like, you know, maybe Kiriko can wall climb up to the high ground and, you know, and help him. But as Moira, there's nothing you can do to help with what your tank's doing right now. So that is on him.
Within my reach.
I definitely, now that your team is, I mean, now that you have no tank, I definitely wouldn't keep pushing forward. Know when you're at a disadvantage and you need to play a little safer, but you know, you do have the sim wall here now, so that's a little bit better. Yeah, I definitely would have, you know, faded away. You had that cooldown, or used the orb. You didn't die there. You wouldn't die there.
No opposition is insurmountable.
Oh, your Maga died really fast there. Let's back that up. So you could definitely think about you know, just pocketing your Maga with the Cole, especially when he throws the cage fight up. But what we do is we fade into everybody. Again, I mean, I wouldn't fade into enemies as Moira in general. You want to save it to escape. Not only that, but that is time that you are not healing your Maga while he's discorded and taking tons of damage. And because of that, he dies. Like, what you could have done instead is as he comes in, we'll actually show you exactly as the cage fight comes out. You know, you could have just been playing like Sigma. Like, you could have tried to ignore the Sigma, play around here. Just try to support Maga as safe as you can. Just know that, like, the enemies aren't going to shoot you through the cage fight. Like, even, like, rotating, like, around this way just to, you know, just to avoid the Sigma while he's focused on over here. That would have just been a much better play than, like, just fading in, you know, being inactive for a bit and letting your Maga die. Because you still could have, you know, gone for damage, been in a better position to go for damage on all the squishies in the cage fight, while also hitting your Maga at the same time and keeping him alive. Your last Maga's death was 100% his fault. I do heavily blame this Maga death on you, though. And because your Maga died, you're not there to help out. I mean, he's not there to help out, sorry. Been a long day at work. So target focus, definitely try to go after squishies instead of the tank if you can. You only do tickle damage as Moira. It's 50 DPS. So we want to try to do that on lower HP targets so it'll be more impactful. Could have used Fade there, but we're also playing very out in the open.
I've dealt with cynics before.
So like I said before, you know, your team is stalling cart. Both your DPS are here. Instead of, you know, being like right on top of cart yourself, you know, think about playing back, think about playing angles where you can heal them up while, you know, just staying safe and, you know, let them stall while you support them. So, I mean, they do die kind of fast here, but at the same time, you know, I don't think we were looking to help them quite enough. Yeah, I know you probably weren't meaning to fade back here, but that does hurt us quite a bit. Same thing. Like, honestly, if you were coming back over here, I would have just stayed right here, focused on healing your ball, maybe go after the Zen or something. Once you hear like enemies behind you, you know, that's when, you know, maybe you could fade to reposition. But I definitely don't think we need to be fading on point. We need to be helping our teammates that are stalling. And we die. If you had stayed back, you would not have died there, and you would have been able to better support your ball. And that's the game. So yeah, does seem like you and your tank were complaining about each other going back and forth, but I understand both perspectives. Like you said, there were definitely times where he overextended and the death was 100% on him. But there was also times when you weren't supporting him when you needed to. Especially, like we were saying, I know I've repeated myself. I don't want to keep harping, but when it's a situation where it's like overtime, you need to stall cart, pay attention to if you have teammates around you and just focus on helping them. If nobody's around, yeah, you're forced to stall yourself. I understand that, but even then, even in those situations, the moment like teammates come back, get off cart and just focus on helping them. That's just the big thing I want you to think about. That could have made a huge difference on, you know, both overtimes and both attack and defense. That might have been able to turn this into a win. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If anyone would like to request a VOD review, check the link in the description, and best of luck with your climb.